Worries. All right, it is 3:02 p.m. and I'm calling this meeting of the Wakefield Youth Council to order. So I'm going to start with attendance. So I'm here. Yana is not here. Ali, you're here. I can see you. Thomas
Here.
is here. Nick Polari.
Here.
Uma.
Here.
Paige McGibbon.
Here.
I know Josh can't make it. Sophie is here. Nivea is not here. Ellie is not here. No Jenna. Nick, I see you. Tegan. Jenna is here now. Tegan's not here. Madeline.
Here.
Is it Madeline or Madeline?
It's Madeline, but people kind of like, yeah.
I got you. I'm sorry if I've ever messed that up. Madeline, noted. All right. Charlotte Holmes is not here. Paige Arkansas, not here. Matt Conley. All right. Bella is not here. Juliana's not here. Megan's not here. So we do have a good amount of people missing, but I know it's hard with school and everything. This is like an awkward amount of time right after school. So hi everybody. I hope you're all doing well. So we're now gonna move on to public comment. I'm not seeing anybody from the public. Is there anybody from the public wishing to speak? Nobody yet. All right. Catherine, did you get to the minutes? It's totally fine if you didn't. We can approve them at the next meeting.
Yeah, we're gonna have to approve them. I only got halfway through before.
No worries. I know I was gonna do them, but it
tracing.
was crazy with school and everything. So we're gonna skip over that agenda item and do that at our next meeting if that's okay with everybody. Awesome. Seeing some nods. Good. Thank you all for being very flexible. All right. So moving on, it's been an agenda item for quite some time now, is our clerk election. So I did reach out to Matt Conley, who's not on this meeting right now. He is a non-voting member of, and he's a high school member. So I asked him if he would be willing to be the clerk, and he did not get back to me. So is there anybody here that would like to, we can try it out. All you would have to do is rewatch the meeting once it gets posted, go through every agenda line and just kind of summarize what we talked about, who spoke, if we have to take a vote, doing the counts of that vote. Trying to think what else is included. Yeah, so it's basically just like a detailed summary of our meeting. Is there anybody that would want to try it out and just see? Nobody yet.
I can try it. I don't mind.
Okay, thank you, Nick. So once this gets posted on WCAT, I can let you know. I'll keep an eye out for it. But it's usually no more than a week. Usually they're pretty fast with it. They're awesome.
Okay, that sounds good.
Thank you for stepping up to do that. And we'll just see how that goes. And then I'll put this agenda item on for the next meeting, and then we can decide like if you liked it or if you want to have somebody else try to do it. So thank you. And then I'll be in touch with you about just sending those over to me. Would you be willing? So Catherine, you're going to finish the ones from last meeting, or would you like Nick to do that?
I can finish those. Yeah.
Okay. So Nick, you'll take the minutes for this meeting once it gets posted. Awesome. Thank you for stepping up to do that. Does anybody else have any questions about what that position entails? Or anything relating to the clerk position? Nothing. All right. Also, I have a new background. I'm at the library at school, if anybody was wondering why I'm in a poorly lit room. All right. So Ali, I'm gonna call on you. Oh, sorry, I skipped over something. So first we have liaison updates. So you all by now, I believe, should have gotten an introduction email from Catherine to your liaison position to whatever group you are. Did anybody not get one?
There are a few people that didn't get theirs yet because I was waiting. I wanted to talk to the people first. So like, for example, the folks that are doing the library, we were deciding one of you would be the the trustees and one would be with the actual library. So there are still a few people that haven't. And then people like Nick, Uma, and Yana, because they're continuing on in their positions. I did not do an introduction, but I can send you all what the expectations are for the liaison positions. Was that helpful to people when they saw what your expectations were? Has anyone received contact from their liaison town officials to?
Yeah, yes, I did.
So Ollie did. Who else?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Right, Sophie, Jenna,
I did.
and Thomas. Okay, great. And if you see me send that introduction email and you don't hear back for a week or two, send me an email and then I'll kind of nudge that individual, but they should be kind of reaching out to you all first.
Awesome, thank you. So one other thing, and I know I say this every time, but I really just want to reiterate, if you're not comfortable with the position that you have, or you try it out and you meet with them, go to a few meetings and you feel like it's not for you, that's totally fine. You can just let Catherine and me know, and we can switch that for you, because we want everybody to be comfortable, because that will help us kind of pursue our fullest expectations and what we want to achieve. Does anybody have any other questions about liaison positions, or how to get in touch? A lot of these emails can be found on the town website, but it was also sent to the person that you'll be the liaison for. So it shouldn't be too hard to find. But if you have any questions, please feel free to text me or email me, email the youth council email, or Catherine. We'll get this taken care of for you.
And I have to say that a lot of the adults are super excited about you all having those liaison positions. Like the director was so excited for our library liaisons to jump on. And I know Juliana is going to be coordinating a snow shoveling and raking program with the senior center, matching senior citizens with teens in their neighborhoods to help them. So I think there's some exciting initiatives that are going to be happening this year. So I'm very excited for you all to start those positions.
Yeah, it's a great way for us to get involved in the community and give back to the adults that have given us so much support as we're still growing up. Paige, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I don't think I got an introduction email for the liaison position.
Yeah, Paige, are you, what's your position?
I'm Envision Wakefield.
Yes. Oh, yes, exactly. Because I had sent an email to Ed Dombrowski to see if he's still the appropriate person. So I was looking at you, I was like, I think she's either Envision or library. So yeah, stay tuned, because we, if that group isn't meeting that often, I'm going to call you and we can kind of figure out a better position for you to, because I want you to have something that is actually meeting often. So
Okay.
I know Mr. Chines, Counselor Chines just joined us.
Hello.
Hi. I was also thinking, because I know Aaron Kokinda is starting the vision planning.
Yeah, so we are, now that we're winding up Vision 2030, the next step in that process is to put together a comprehensive master plan for the town. And so as part of that, we're pulling together an advisory group of 20 to 25 residents to participate that, and just sort of lend their kind of lived experience in Wakefield in terms of what they see and what they see as needs in the community. That actually fits in really well with the Envision project, because they're both related to improving the streetscape, thinking about kind of development and open space preservation and so forth. And and so it might make sense to pair those two things together from a liaison perspective. I
Well,
think on the
that's-
Envision side, I don't think there hasn't been a meeting in quite a while, and I'm not sure that there's much coming up in the next several months. It's sort of in a design phase with the consultants, and so there haven't been a lot of kind of public meetings as part of that process.
Okay, so then what I'm hearing is it might make, because I know Aaron was interested in having a representative from the youth council on that group, so it might make more sense for Paige to be the liaison for the Vision Wakefield project.
The master plan. Yep.
Master plan, sorry. Okay, so does that sound, where did Paige go? Oh, you slipped on my screen. Paige, does that sound like something you'd be interested in being part of the Wakefield master plan?
Yeah.
All right, that's going to be very exciting. I think you'll have a lot to do with that position. So, all right, great.
Cool. And then one other thing I think I forgot to mention. So once you get that introduction email, it's a great idea to reach out to the person and set up a meeting. So for example, I'm the liaison to the town council. So I'm gonna pretty soon this week, I'm gonna email the chair of that, which is Julie Smith Galvin, or even perhaps Councillor Trines because he's our liaison. And just set up a time to talk to them. I can also send out some guiding questions that you can ask when you meet with them. So like, how can I best bridge the gap between the youth council and whatever committee you're on? And how can I best assist you and represent the youth of Wakefield and just things like that. So then you have something to kind of go off of, and that can spark some conversation that might not have happened before. Go ahead, Madeline.
So I got an email with the Zoom that's happening tomorrow with library, like the library board, but I don't think that I got like an introduction email, like with what it will entail. Like, would I find that stuff out on the Zoom tomorrow or?
I'll set up a, Madeline, I'll do an email with you and Jacqueline from the library. She probably saw your information on, because you guys your official listing is on the Wakefield website now. So what your liaison role, so she probably was proactive, saw you were the liaison and sent you that invite. So I will send an email following this meeting.
Nicholas, do you have something you want to add?
Yeah, I also got an email. I got an email from the recreation department about going to their meeting tomorrow night. So is that like the same thing as the library meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Lauren, go ahead.
No, Catherine, go ahead.
So that's probably the recreation board. So they're in, because they know you're their liaison. Did you see the email introduction, Nicholas, that I sent?
Yeah, I saw the email.
Yeah. So they probably said, oh, great. We're glad he's on. We're going to invite, we happen to have a meeting coming up this Wednesday. So you all might start to get invitations to some of these meetings. And those board members know that your students and stuff, and some of those meetings can go on long. So you can kind of just message the person. Lauren's nodding. I think a lot of you have been part of those long meetings before. You can message the person ahead of time saying, oh, I have a lot of homework tonight. I'll be able to stay on for the first half hour, 45 minutes. And they completely understand that. So don't feel bad. I remember, I think it was William last year was on a 4-hour planning board meeting, and Ollie, you did the same thing with the Conservation Commission sometimes. So making sure that it's not an expectation that you're on there for 3-4 hour meetings, but it does give you appreciation for how much time our board members, including yourselves, donate to the town.
Absolutely. And it's a great idea to log into those Zoom meetings just in case you ever want to participate during public comment, or if they like call on you during the meetings. Usually, for example, like I always watch the town council or the school committee meetings, but as a liaison, I'm planning to the town council, I'm planning to log into the meetings just to be an active participant, to follow the guidelines, of course. Does anybody have any other questions about the liaison positions? All right, I'm not seeing any, so let me check our agenda. All right, so now I'm going to call on just to give us a brief update about the our subcommittees because he is the interim chair before one gets elected. So Ali, you have the floor.
Thank you, Lauren. So I need to set up the communications outreach subcommittee. So I will be scheduling that in the next few days, hopefully. So if you're still interested in joining the subcommittee, please fill out the subcommittee interest form that Lauren sent out in the last email, I believe. So yeah, so that's my update for you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so if you're interested, make sure you fill out that form. And I believe there is a spot if you have any other ideas for the subcommittees. I know Jenna, last year, we're trying to start a good news subcommittee to highlight the good news that's happening in Wakefield. Just where, you know, COVID is starting to spike again and the weather's starting to get a little chillier. It's starting to get a little bit darker out. Just to highlight the good things that not only youth are doing, but that are happening within Wakefield. So yeah, so if you have any other ideas, feel free to put them in there. And then the other form that I sent out, that was the meet the members form. That's completely optional. You need the photo consent form for us to post your profile. And that will fall under the communications and outreach subcommittee and their social media platforms. So that will be a bit later, but I'm hoping we can get that going pretty soon. So if you're interested, make sure you fill out those forms. Does anybody have any questions? Anything you want to add? I know I was a part of it last year and I really enjoyed it. I ran the Facebook and I'm currently running both of the social media. So if there's ever anything that you see and want me to reshare, please send it to me because we're always looking for content to repost and everything. Awesome. Anybody else have anything they want to add? All right, I'm not seeing any. All right, so last meeting, we touched on brainstorming our vision and values statement. I've been thinking a lot about this and I still think it's a great idea. And I really do, after Mr. Trines had kind of given us his input on it, to just kind of stretch it out and give it as much time as it needs, as it's going to be something that we do put out into the public eye and we want to make known. It needs to be something that we're sure, no matter what the circumstances are, that we stand by it. And it's always like things that we want to be known for. So for accepting everybody and having mutual respect between youth in the town and adults and leaders and everything in between that. So I'm going to send out, when I send out those guided questions, I'm going to send out a form, if I haven't already, to fill in some like buzzwords you want to put in the statement, our target audience, and kind of just a central message so we can start to collaborate on coming up with that, so it can be something that we're proud of and stand by no matter what. Does anybody have anything that they'd like to add about that, or any other ideas of what we want that message to be? All right, I'm not seeing any. Awesome, we're making great time for this meeting. All right. So I really want to solidify our initiative ideas. I do have an update on one of them. So we had briefly talked about putting menstrual products into bathrooms at the school. And I know that the administration had just met with, oh gosh, I'm forgetting the name of it, but they had met with some company that grants free ones under federal law. And I believe those are getting implemented into the high school. And if they are getting implemented into the high school, I would imagine it will be across all Wakefield public schools. So if I hear anything else through the grapevine about that, I'll be sure to pass that along. But that can be something that we work towards. Maybe we put them in small businesses or local restaurants around Wakefield to ensure that everybody has access to them. So yeah. So I know another thing, initiative idea that we had talked about, and I believe Madeline, you brought this up, was women's violence prevention and domestic violence prevention. And do you mind reminding me what your liaison position is?
I'm working with the library board.
Okay, that's what I thought. So I was thinking, and obviously everybody, please feel free to give input. So Nick, I know, is the liaison to the Wakefield Police Department. So maybe both of you could partner up, and Nick, you could meet with some of the police officers to see if they have any trainings that are available. And then Madeline, you could perhaps like schedule a time at the library where we can hold one of those things. And just so that's like a way for us to connect our initiative ideas to the liaison positions. And if we do end up wanting to take that on, we can always have, like, for example, the police chief or somebody from the library speak as to what they feel they can do to help us. Catherine, go ahead.
We actually do have a program called Rad Women, where we young women can get trained on how to protect themselves. A lot of times we try to promote it for students that are juniors and seniors in high school, but I think it would be a wonderful collaborative, Madeline, if you wanted to co-host it, like it could be youth council sponsored, because we have Wakefield Alliance Against Violence that actually has funds to work with Officer Rando and our team. So there's a lot that we can do, and we would love to, look at supporting something like that. So would you be interested in setting up a meeting, and maybe we can get Nick involved too?
That would be amazing.
Okay, so why don't you send myself and Nick, so Nick Polari, not Nick W, because he's the police liaison, an email about that, and we can get it started, and I can loop in some of those folks.
Awesome. And that just falls under some of the sub bullet points that I put under a lot of these agenda items, was that I wanted to really solidify our initiatives and then also create action steps and reachable goals. So that can be a goal for by next meeting. Maybe we have the police chief and somebody from Rad Women or Wakefield Alliance Against Violence speak, and then we can kind of make a tangible plan about what we're going to do to set this up. Does that sound good to everybody if we have them speak at our next meeting? Awesome. So Nick and Madeline, so that will be something that you guys kind of coordinate on and then reach out to them to see if they can collaborate to come to our next meeting. So I will send out our meeting poll as soon as possible so we can kind of get that in the books. Mr. Chines, did you have your hand raised or did you change your mind? I don't want to put you on the spot.
No,
but saw that
I
it
did
was-
I did want to mention Wakefield Against Violence is another group here to connect with, but Catherine mentioned it as well.
Awesome, thank you. So we had also talked about.
Oh, can I say one
Yeah.
other thing on that?
Absolutely.
We have our Wakefield Alliance Against Violence race on October 16th. It's a Saturday. And I promised them I would put it out to the youth council if anyone wants to volunteer at that event. We need people. We'll put you in certain stations, some people to hand out waters and other people to direct people where to go, because the race route changed a little bit. Lauren, I'll send you the information that you can send out to the youth council, because if anyone's in National Honor Society and needs to accumulate community service hours, that counts. And we always need the help, and it's a great connection maybe for Madeline and Nick too, if you're working on this issue.
Yeah, those, oh, go ahead. Those things are just great opportunities for us to get involved in the community. And as I said before, just to give back. So one other initiative idea we had brainstormed was to start diversifying school curriculum, but also different books at the library. I know Yana had brought up the idea of creating an Amazon wish list that people could donate some money and we could buy those just to implement that into the BB library, but also the school libraries. So Thomas, I know that you are the liaison to the I don't know the exact name of it, but the curriculum task force at the high school, just to get more perspectives and accurate history into the curriculum at the high school. So maybe you can set up a meeting, and then one of our upcoming meetings, we can have either Mr. Pavey, Miss Messier, or maybe Mr. Lyons speak to us about what they're doing and how we can get involved in that and implement that into the school, but also in the community as well. So if you want to get connected with them as like a part of your liaison position, and then we can figure out a time in the future for us to meet with them, we can do that as well. Does anybody have anything they want to add to that, or any other initiative ideas? Yeah, go ahead, Madeline.
I'm sorry, which Nick is it? I was like writing this stuff down. Which Nick?
Nick Polari.
Okay, I thought so.
He's right next to you on my screen, but I'm not sure if it's the same on yours.
I'll send you his email address, Madeline, right now.
Awesome. So it seems like, and I just want to make sure we're all on the same page so that we have attainable goals, and just solidified action steps, to these initiatives. So this is a great way for your liaison positions to get involved. So Nick and Madeline, you will work together, to create a time to meet with both of your liaison, people and the boards. And then I will set up a meeting date as soon as possible. I'll send that out hopefully by the end of this week so we can invite them to that meeting and they can start to prepare for that. And then Thomas, you will reach out to your liaison people or group, and start to get connected with them and meet with them and find out what they're doing. And then we'll have them come to maybe the next meeting or definitely a meeting in the future. Awesome. Does anybody else have anything they want to add? We went through this agenda very quickly. Anybody? All right. Cool. So as I said previously, I'm going to send out a meeting poll to find a date that works well for everybody. It seems like we're going to be staying on Zoom for a while, which I think works really well if you can't drive yourself, and especially with all of our schedules, it's very accommodating for everybody. So yeah, so I will be sending that out probably by the end of this week, if not early next week. Yeah, does this time, so I know this time is hard with like sports schedules, but for this group, does this work well for you guys? Okay, I just want to start to get a sense so we can hopefully make it more regular, but it's hard to accommodate everybody's schedules. Awesome. All right, so if nobody else has anything they'd like to add, you have the floor. Anybody? All right, so I guess we can go ahead and adjourn our meeting. Let me grab our list. All right. So do I have a motion to adjourn our meeting?
I motion.
Motion. Anybody have a second?
A second.
All right, thank you. So Ali,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Nick Polari,
Yes.
Uma,
Yes.
Paige,
Yes.
Sophie,
Yes.
Jenna,
Yes.
Nick W,
Yes.
and Madeline.
Yes.
Sorry. All right. So that adjourns our meeting.